In this video, I'm going to show you how to prototype the login process of an app using OTP verification. So this is the main screen we're going to be working with. First thing we're going to do is take the keyboard and the notification pop-up and put them in the frame and center them, and then push them out of the viewable area of the frame because we're not going to need them for this one. And then we're going to duplicate the frame multiple times and make changes, and then put all of that in, most of them, in a component set, and then we're going to prototype it. Now, you don't necessarily have to do this with interactive components. If this is the only process that you're designing, you can just go ahead and connect the frames normally. But if you're designing a whole app, it just makes for a neater canvas not to have all those blue connectors flying all over the place. And you don't have an extra 16 or so screens in your sign-up flow. Now we're going to duplicate this screen, and then in the second screen, drag down the notification pop-up to just below the Android status bar. And then we're going to select the time in the status bar and change that to the name of the app that the notification is coming from. In this case, I'm using Texture because that's the app I use on my phone for SMSs. Then we're going to duplicate the first screen again because now we've swiped up to get rid of the notification. And in the Android status bar, I have placed a messaging icon and given it a pass-through of 0 to hide it. So now I'm going to reveal it by giving it a pass-through of 100. Basically, we just swiped up. We didn't actually open the notification, so the icon would still be there. Now, the next interaction we're going to have is when you tap on the first input field, the keyboard comes up so we can start typing. So we're going to duplicate the third frame, and then we're going to pull the keyboard up from the bottom and let it sit right on top of that Android bottom navigation bar. So we're going to duplicate this fourth frame, and then we're going to simulate the typing. So here is the verification code that we're going to type out. The illustration I got, I think, from Storyset. I will put the link in the description below. And so I just modified it a bit and changed those numbers to show the same verification code I chose to use. So what we're going to do here is we're going to highlight the number that we're going to be pressing. So what we're going to do is change the background color to white and then change the color of the number to a darker color. Now I'm going to duplicate the previous screen and then reveal the first number. So how I created these was I typed each number out and then put each number in its own frame with a background, and then I gave the number a pass-through of 0, so it's hidden. So I'm just going to give each one in turn a pass-through of 100 to reveal them. If you want to see a video of how I actually designed this whole thing from scratch, let me know in the comments. The other 5 numbers are going to follow the same pattern. So basically there are 2 frames per number. The first frame we're going to use 0. So the first frame for 0 is going to have the 0 key highlighted on the keyboard. The second frame is not going to have any keys highlighted, but the 0 is going to be revealed in the input field. And that's how it's going to go for the other 5 numbers as well. So during the editing, I noticed that I lost the part where I changed the bottom Android navigation bar. If you have an Android, you know this. When you pull up the keyboard, the icons on the bottom there change a little bit. So I switched out the navigation bar at some point and lost that footage. So in case you noticed or didn't notice, that happened. Now we finished inputting all the numbers, we're going to duplicate the last frame, and then we're going to push the keyboard down so that we can, out of the frame, so that we can access the submit button. Now we're just going to select all the frames except the last one and put them in a component set, and then we will prototype them. So for these first two screens, the interaction that we're going to have is we're waiting for the notification to drop down. So I'm going to connect the first screen to the second one and set it to after delay of 3,200 milliseconds, smart animate for 300 milliseconds. So for the second screen, we want to swipe up on the alert to get rid of it. So what we're going to do is click on that pop-up and select, connect it to the third screen. Select on drag, smart animate 300 milliseconds. On the third screen, we want to click on the first input field and have the keyboard pop up. So we're going to click on that input field, connect it to the next screen, and then select on click, smart animate 300 milliseconds. On the next screen, we want to tap on the 0 key and have it highlight. So we're going to select the 0 and connect it to the highlighted screen and set it to on click instant. On the next screen, we have tapped on a number and we want it to appear. So we're going to select the whole frame, connect it to the next frame, select after delay of 1 millisecond, smart animate 50 milliseconds. So it's going to be the same way for the rest of the numbers. So if it's 8, select the frame with 8, connect it to the next frame with the highlighted 8, on tap instant. On the frame with the highlighted 8, select the whole frame, connect it to the next frame, after delay 1 millisecond, smart animate 50 milliseconds. And it's going to be like that for all the rest of the numbers. So that's it for the interactions in that component set. We're going to take that last screen that we didn't add to the set, and then we're going to take these two other screens that I had made before, and we're going to duplicate that last screen and then make a few changes to it. We have to show the loading screen. So when you submit the verification code, it loads a bit before it then confirms or whatever. So let me show you just quickly how I did the interaction for the loading animation. So I put these 3 circles in a frame, duplicated them, and then turned them into a component set. Then I connected each variant to the one below it and set it to after delay of 300 milliseconds, smart animate 300 milliseconds, and then I connected the bottom back to the top so it would run on an endless loop. So I'm going to select the first variant, copy it, and then paste it in place of the submit button on the screen that we want to change, and then center it. Now we're going to connect all the other screens with the interactive components, and then we'll be done. So I'm going to copy the first variant from the component set and then paste it here, and then we'll connect them. So we're going to select the send access code button and connect it to the next frame. And then we're going to set it to on click instant. Then we're going to go to the last variant in the component set. Select the down arrow icon, connect that to the third screen, and set it to on click smart animate 300 milliseconds so that when we tap on the icon, the keyboard slides down and then we can access the submit button. Then we're going to select the submit button, connect it to the next screen, which is the loading screen, and set it to on click instant. And now the final step. We want the loading animation to loop for a bit before it moves on to the final screen. So we're going to select that frame, which is the loading frame, connect it to the last screen, and then set it to after delay 4,000 milliseconds, dissolve 300 milliseconds. And then we're done. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave it in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next one.